Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. It is, what day is it? It is Tuesday, yeah, it's Tuesday. And I just wanted to come on here because I feel like I haven't ventured on YouTube in a little while. I think it's been probably about a week, which, yeah, so I thought I would have a little bit of a catch up. Not that really much has happened because nothing can really happen at the moment. Everyone's obviously still in lockdown, but I thought that I would come on here and explain a few things and like what I've been up to, and where I'm at with this drawing. And so for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram or social media, you probably won't know that the other day I finished the commission of Hooley, which was the beautiful chestnut horse I was working on, and had been working on for probably a couple of weeks now. So I completed him, and then even though my commission diary is absolutely chocker at the moment, which is amazing, I'm so grateful to be still super busy despite everything that's going on. I needed to have a couple of days off where I just focused on something completely different. So obviously I started this barn owl probably about a month ago, and hadn't really got very far with it, so I thought it'd be kind of like perfect opportunity to pick up where I left off and yeah, just carry on and just try and get this little guy out, because a lot of people have been asking for him, for like prints and things like that. So I figured that it would make a lot of sense to get him done. And plus, yeah, it's sometimes nice to have a break away from horses and do something completely different. Obviously I absolutely adore horses and they are, you know, the thing behind my business, but yeah, anyway, I thought I would try and do a bit more of this little barn owl. I've been racking my brains because I wanted to talk about something that was actually going to be quite useful to some people, rather than just sort of like do a video where I just sort of like try and catch you up with a few things even though nothing's really happened. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about sort of like 5 things that I've learned in 5 years of being an artist, because I feel like there's quite a lot that I've learned, and I feel like there's quite a lot of things that I could probably like not advise you on, but just give you a little bit more of an insight really, I guess. So yeah, so I thought that's what I would talk about today. It's probably going to be quite rambly, but all my videos kind of are, so if that's not your thing, then obviously you don't have to watch it. But if you would like to stick around, and you know, please do give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help my channel out. But yeah, okay, so obviously I've been doing this job since I was 21, I'm now 26, so it's been full-time for me for about 3 years, and in that time obviously a lot has changed. I've learned a lot, and some of them have been pretty big lessons, and I don't regret anything. I think I don't really regret anything in life. Anything that happens, you know, I'm kind of quite okay with most things. I kind of just take it as what it is and go, well, you know, that wasn't meant to be, or that happened for that reason. I'm sure I'll find out why that happened in the future, kind of thing. So I don't really regret anything. And obviously the reason why I started drawing was because my anxiety was so bad and I didn't really want to go back to a corporate workplace where I really wasn't happy. So yeah, so I was kind of quite young and very naive when I set this business up, and I really didn't know what I was sort of getting into. I was really naive in thinking that, you know, it would be quite, well, I didn't think it was going to be easy, but I didn't know what I thought really. I don't think I did really think. I just know that I wanted to draw, and that if I wanted something enough I'd make it work. So the first lesson that I learned pretty quickly is that you've got to be so patient. None of this business was built quickly. None of sort of social media was built quickly. It's taken me a good few years to get to a social media following that I've got now. It's taken me a long time to get confident in what I'm posting and sort of like the video and the content I'm producing, you know, confident enough that I can come onto camera and talk more in depth about what I'm doing and sort of things like that. So none of it was built quickly, and I feel like some people you know, you kind of think that being an artist is going to be quite an easy job, and don't get me wrong, it really can be. Not easy, but it can be very, very rewarding. You know, you get to sit at home and drink cups of tea and eat lots of biscuits, and if that's your thing, and you know, it can be one of the most satisfactory jobs I think in the world, because obviously I get to get up and do what I love every single day, so I really have no complaints. However, I'd be lying if I said it was really easy. I don't think any part of this job has ever been particularly easy. You know, I've been very, very fortunate to work with the clients that I do work with, but I think that's because I kind of went into the business not expecting anything, like, because I didn't go into this business with a 5-year game plan. Like, a lot of people when you start off a business will say, okay, well, where's your 5-year plan? I didn't have that because I didn't feel like I could give myself a plan, because I didn't know how things were going to evolve. So I kind of just took each day for what it was, and was super, well, kind of patient. I just, you know, made sure I had enough money to live on and enough money to, you know, pay the bills and stuff like that. And I figured that if it was going to work, it would kind of work itself out in the end. And obviously, not only do you have to be super patient to get clients, to get following, to get sort of work, to get sales and things like that, but you have got to work hard. It's not an industry that's very, very easy. There's a lot of people that are doing it now, compared to when I first started. There's a lot of people that want to be full-time artists, and that's a great thing. It really is a great thing, because I've said before, there's plenty of us who it's enough work to go around for everyone, no matter where you are in your art journey. And you know, because people, not only have they got different price brackets, but they've also got different preferences when it comes to mediums. Like if you're a watercolour artist or whether you're a pastel artist, you know, some people will love watercolour but won't like pastels, and some people like oil painters won't like colour pencil. So, and like some people will have a budget much larger than others. So it just, you know, it completely depends. So there's enough work to go around for everyone, so that's not really the problem. I think you know, and I don't think there is really a problem in general. I think, but you know, you have got to work really, really hard. I mean, I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess how many hours that I put into the business a week, because it is quite a stupid amount. But I don't regret it. It doesn't really feel like work. I really enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy creating video content now. I enjoy drawing still. I have like a very loyal client base, and you know, commissions for me are, you know, quite busy. I'm very, really fortunate that I've never really had a gap in commissions in sort of like the 5 years that I've been doing this job, and I've never really had to advertise full commissions either. So, you know, I feel like I'm in a very, very fortunate position to say that. But obviously, the first lesson that I learned is that nothing comes quickly. That, you know, it's taken me 5 years to be where I am now, and it's 5 years of solid graft without a holiday, without any really days off, and it's only now that I can sort of look back and think, do you know what, I've really worked hard, and you know, hopefully in the next couple of years or the next year or whatever, I'll be in the position where I can buy a house and things like that. But as I said, it's taken me a long time to get to where I am with like social media and followings and money, and not money, but like commissions, and to basically make to have quite a successful business from it. And obviously there's plenty of ways of different ways that you can make money being an artist, and that's a video that I'm definitely going to bring out in the future. Different income sources that you can look at if you want to be an artist, because being a commissioned artist isn't the only way. So anyway, the first lesson is just be patient. Nothing happens overnight, and you've got to work really, really hard to basically achieve what you want to achieve. Now the second lesson, and it doesn't really just go for artists, it goes for me or anyone creative, it goes for anyone who's a freelancer. You've got to be really on top of your finances. And what I mean by that is, like, normally when it comes to the end of the And it comes to the end of the month, if you are working for somebody else and you get a pay packet, and that pay packet your company or the tax man would have taken out the money you owe in tax. Now that doesn't happen when you're freelance or when you're an artist or a creative person and you work for yourself, because the money that you charge is the money that comes into your account, and then at the end of the year then you have to submit your tax return, and the tax man will come along and ask for X amount of that income if you've made a profit. So sometimes it can be very, very easy when you get paid to go out and spend that money, but you mustn't. Whatever you do, you mustn't do that, because you need to have enough to pay your taxes. So like, I think one of the really good things that you can do in the way that I try and do things is every time I get paid, I take about 40% of that money and put it into a bank account, and then that gives me enough money then to pay for my taxes. It gives me enough money to pay for my national insurance, and any other emergency sort of tax, or like an accountant or anything that I might need to take on, or like even if like equipment and things go wrong, it's just like a little business fund. And I mustn't touch, whatever you do, you mustn't touch that money. So you'd be really, really on top of your finances, especially in the first like year or 2 years or 3 years that you're not really making much money. Like I guess that's another thing, is expect to make a bit of a loss in your first year. You have to probably invest quite a lot of money into setting up your business. Obviously you can create art with anything, and as long as you've got a phone and things like that, it's never been easier to create art nowadays, when social media is so, everyone's on it. But that said, you really, really do need to be on top and really work out how much money you need to live on each month. Work out how much you're making. If you're not making enough, then you need to subsidise that income, so go and get a part-time job maybe, or maybe don't give up the day job just yet, until you can definitely see that the business is growing. And I'd probably, even then, I think you need a bit of a runway fund, so you need to have X amount of money in your bank account before you even consider giving up your day job, just so just in case like you don't get any work or things go a bit flat for a little while, then you've got an emergency fund. So yeah, definitely be on top of your finances. That is the second thing I learned, because when I first started, I definitely wasn't that good with them, because I just left uni. I was 21, and luckily I was working and had a part-time job, so I could still I wasn't solely relying on my art. And obviously I was very, very fortunate. I was still living at home, but not everyone is that fortunate. So one of the things you have to learn very, very quickly is, please, whatever you do, stay on top of your finances, because you don't want the taxman to come after you, or you still need to be able to pay for the things that you want to do in life and enjoy in life. Now the third thing that I think I learned when I became an artist, and I think I won't be the only one who will talk to you guys about this, is not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will be on the same page as you. Not everyone will, understand why you do what you do. The amount of times people have said to me, oh, why'd you do that? You can just take a photo. Why would anyone want to spend money on, on artwork when they could just take a photo of their animal? Yeah, fair enough. But it's, as I think I said before, people like art. So some people like art, some people don't. But the ones who like art will want to spend the money on it. And also, if they've got a beloved animal, they've got a pet that's been with them for years, yeah, sure, they can take a photo, but there is something almost prestigious about having a commissioned portrait, I found anyway, over the years of doing this. I think I've spoken about it before in a video. It's a bit like the difference between sort of having a bog standard car and having a Rolls Royce, something that is made for everyone, like a photo, or something that is custom made for the owner, like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or something like that, a custom built Bentley. Is the world of difference. Both do the same job. Like, a camera will take a photo, and I will create something that is as close to photographic as possible, but the quality and the attention to detail would be completely different. One is made by hand, and the other one, yeah, is just made by whoever's in the factory on that day. So it's a bit like that. So I mean, not everyone will understand you. Maybe your family won't understand why you want to do what you do at first. Mine definitely didn't. But with a lot of persuading, and they could definitely see after a while how the business was evolving and expanding, and it definitely helped. And obviously, if there was any doubt at all, then, you know, just reassure them, make sure that you've got your finances covered, make sure you can go to them with a bit of a game plan. If it is your family who are causing you doubt or whatever, you know, just have an argument there. Just be ready. If this is really what you want to do and you know you can make it work, you've got to have confidence in yourself, and you've got to be able to think, right, this is definitely what I want to do. If you go into something half-heartedly, then it won't work for you, because, you know, nothing ever worked by not jumping in fully. If you're going to take the plunge, you need to take the plunge fully and commit to that plunge. So yeah, my third piece of advice would just, you know, there will be people that won't understand you or why you do what you do. You've just got to ignore those people, because if this is what you want to do and you know that, then you do you. So the fourth thing that I learned when I became an artist very, very quickly is that when you call yourself an artist, what you actually mean is you do everything yourself. So being an artist is a very, very small part of this business for me. So the amount of time I actually spend drawing isn't as much as I would like to, and isn't as much as people will probably think that I do. So when you tell people you're an artist, they think that you probably spend your whole days drawing and, you know, doing whatever you do, being creative, but that's not true. You know, I would say probably about 40% of my days are spent drawing, probably a bit more at the moment, probably about 50 to 60% of my days are spent drawing, and then the rest of it is like admin, it's computer work, it's Photoshop, it's editing, it's emails, it's, you know, clients, it's prints, it's marketing, it's accounts, it's, you know, everything. And you don't have anyone else who can do it for you when you start out. I mean, even 5 years in, I still do everything myself. I don't even have an accountant really, because I don't, you know, I want to be able to look after my own business and not have to rely on anyone else. But yeah, I think some people think that when they become an artist, they will be able to spend all their time drawing, and unfortunately that isn't true. You know, when you take on another platform, I mean, yes, okay, it's my choice. I've done like Patreon and I've done YouTube and things like that, but that's because I needed to kind of expand what I was doing. But it's not always that easy. Let me just bring you, hang on, you're going to lose focus. Yeah, so I would say probably about 40% of my day is spent drawing, the rest of it is spent doing admin, and, you know, obviously, yes, it is my choice to do other things like YouTube and Patreon and things like that, but, you know, it's because I want to create longevity, and I feel like I'm ready and at that point in my business where I can do more things like this. But yeah, I think one of the common mistakes that people think, or you know, whatever, is that they will get to spend so much time drawing, and, you know, if you can, then that's amazing, and I'm so jealous. But for me, it's more like, you know, a little bit of drawing each day just to keep things ticking over, probably about 5-6 hours maybe, and then the rest of the time is doing admin and accounts and boring stuff that, you know, behind the scenes stuff, which equally doesn't really pay you, but is really important. And the last lesson I learned very, very quickly, and I'm going to end this video on a positive, is that art and being an artist is literally the best job in the world. It is so enjoyable. The amount of job satisfaction I get every single day from doing what I do is insane. I am so fortunate to be in the position I am, and where I get to create content and art and, you know, live an incredibly privileged life through being able to do what I do. It is, you know, it's incomparable to anything else, to working with some of the best clients in the world, to, you know, having or to producing portraits of such loved animals for their owners. It's, you know, getting sort of the best client testimonials and reviews, and, you know, knowing that I'm really helping you know, either bring horses or animals back for those people who have lost them, or, you know, bringing comfort to those people, or, you know, giving them joy and giving them something to look at in their home. You know, at the end of the day, being an artist, you are creating something and putting something out in the world that wasn't there already, and that is an amazing thing. You know, on the flip side of that, art is a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it, but like not everyone will understand it. Not everyone needs art. You know, if the world ended, which it kind of feels like it is at the moment, I'm totally not dramatic, am I? But you know what I mean, then you know, art isn't really needed. So, you know, you got to be prepared that not everyone is going to want to spend the money on it, but for those who do understand it, and there are a lot of people that do understand art, so you'll never be sort of short of people who will understand where you're coming from with your artistic message or whatever. Yeah, it is a truly enjoyable career path for sure, and it's something that I have absolutely zero regrets doing. It's a hard old slog. It's definitely not the easiest career path. It's very time consuming, it's challenging, it's difficult, it creates, you know, a lot of well, it's a bit of a roller coaster. I think with any business, it's a roller coaster, but you definitely got to be prepared for the hard old slog. It's not going to grow overnight. Nothing's, you know, you're not going to get a full client list or commission list overnight. It takes a lot of time, but if you commit and you give that time, and you're sort of loyal and to your customers, your clients, and your followers, and you know, they build up the trust in you, then it can be a very good career path. As long as you are patient and you work as hard as you possibly can, you will definitely reap the rewards. If you want something enough, you'll make it work. As I said, there's a lot of lessons that you'll learn along the way, but lessons are definitely what give you experience, and it's definitely, you know, it's people will pay you for, you know, your ability, and that is an incredibly good thing. You know, it's a very almost like privileged position to be in. But yeah, so I thought I would pop on here anyway and film sort of that sort of just little 5 lessons in 5 years, things that I've learned off the top of my head. It wasn't really a planned video, but I thought it's definitely one that I wanted to film for a while. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are. I've currently gone and just filmed a really in-depth video about how I've created this portrait so far, or some bits of it, over on my Patreon. For those people, it's the £6 and up tier. For those people who would really like an insight into how I do what I do, and sort of like what pencils I use, and sort of a long description of that. But for now, guys, I hope you are staying safe. In fact, before I do that, I will just show you where I'm at with this portrait. My little owl. Hopefully it will stay in focus. So this is basically what I've been working on, just this little bit down here. But yeah, I hope you're staying safe, I hope you're staying well, and I will see you in the next one. Lots of love, bye.